Welcome back to the Fantasy Bros. Here with the greatest advice you can ask for. Go on any other YouTube channel. They give you. They don't know what they're talking about.
Not even close.
Any YouTube channels in particular?
Any other.
Especially.
I'm not gonna.
I won't say. I don't want to start.
I'm not gonna shout anyone out. But when you have Joe and you have Max and you have Zach all giving you advice, man, you're bound to win. Just stick with us.
Like, it's not even fair at this point. It's just not fair.
It's just a joke. Your league will be like, yo, how did you get so good at fantasy? You know. Anyway, and you'll be able to answer that question, but you want to keep us a secret, right? No, you don't. Share it with your friends. Just anyone outside your fantasy league, and you can share with all of them. Anyway, let's hop into it. What do we got today?
Sell highs.
Sell high candidates. Now, these are players who had a fantastic performance, but that's not going to happen again.
You gotta get
at least not from our standpoint. We don't think it's going to happen. So let's get it right into it. Joe, who's your first sell high candidate?
So my first candidate is James Robinson. I don't think he's gonna play poorly. I think his schedule is a little tough.
Who do they play, Joe?
Who do they play? They have a tough match. Let me pull that up.
I'll tell you who they play. They play Tennessee, Baltimore, and Chicago. Those are all matchups you want to avoid. Am I right?
You're right.
For sure.
Who wants to play those guys? If you're a running back,
one of the best.
You don't want to die, right? You don't want to get injured. So look, James Robinson, I totally agree. He's on my list of sell high candidates, and you could sell him for a pretty penny too, right?
Yeah, you could.
He's been balling out a ton.
Over 100 yards rushing this week.
He's one of the best waiver ads this season.
Definitely.
He's been getting 20 points a game, and you could get a ton from him. People in need of running backs. Running backs are a hot commodity, and he is one of the hottest.
My biggest issue with him is that he's lost his targets from the beginning of the season. He's become touchdown dependent, and he had a couple called back, but you can't rely on him getting touchdowns every week, especially with the schedule. So he had 109 rushing yards, but he had 10.9 points. That's not what you're looking for ever.
And aside from the poor schedule, he's in an offense where they play from behind a lot. So like Derrick Henry, when you're down a lot, you're gonna abandon the run game. But in terms of Derrick Henry, he's one of our buy low candidates, so we're gonna get to him. We got to him in another video. What do you got, Zach?
I got Golly Bladder Wayne Gallman. So he put up nice numbers this week.
We're not editing that out.
He put up some nice numbers this week, but
tell us those numbers.
It's only like 15
He put up
points.
19 points this week.
Yeah,
in a PPR touchdown. In a PPR format.
2 touchdowns.
2 TDs, 16 carries, 70 yards.
19.8, I think.
He benefited a ton from Devontae's absence. Who's out for 3 games?
So why are you selling him high?
Why are you selling him
just
high,
because
Zach?
I don't think the Giants are good enough that you keep a running back on their team, especially when he had a good game, and Devontae Freeman's supposed to come back in 1 or 2 weeks. So get rid of him while you can.
Okay, I like that a lot. He did have a good performance, and once again, running back position is depleting.
His matchups are tough.
Okay,
Definitely. So
my first sell high candidate is DJ Moore. Now, going into this season, fantasy experts were very high on DJ Moore. I was like, why? Why are you so high on this man? What did he do? And then I went out and drafted him.
You drafted him?
I did draft him.
How about Joe Mixon? What about Joe Mixon?
I did
draft him
him
also?
Let's not get into Joe Mixon.
That's not a sell high.
I did draft DJ Moore. Even though I knew why the hell are people buying into this garbage? So I did buy him, and I was unhappy with him, so I did trade him away. His schedule, he put up 17 points, so that's a great performance. A nice number for people who want to get him and people who want to sell to. He plays the Broncos, the Packers, the Washington football team in his playoffs, so go sell him. He gets 5 targets per game, and he's very inconsistent. That's why I want to get rid of him. Do that now.
Also Teddy Bridgewater's injury.
Exactly.
For sure.
Teddy Bridgewater got injured. We don't know what's going to happen with their receivers. Who's PJ Walker going to target the most? We don't know.
And McCaffrey's coming back soon, so that takes away.
My next sell high, Marvin Jones. Galladay's coming back soon. When Galladay's in, Marvin Jones is very tough to start.
He's tough to start. What did he put up this past week?
He had about 24 points.
24
PPR. 10 targets, 8 receptions, 96 and a touchdown.
That's a juicy stat line.
Beautiful, but Galladay wasn't in.
They
did play against a really good pass defense, and Stafford played really well, but in the future they're playing against Carolina, Houston, Chicago, Green Bay, and then...
He also had a touchdown last game, too. So that's back-to-back pretty good games. You could probably sell high on him.
He had 2 the week before. He had 19 points the week before.
Yeah, so go out, sell high on him.
4 weeks
and
straight,
reap the rewards.
13 plus in 4 straight weeks.
Wow.
Definitely get something special.
Definitely a good sell high candidate. Zach, who's your second?
I have a twofer just because they're
A twofer, ladies and gentlemen.
they're similar
Sorry, just
in the
gentlemen.
reason why I would sell high. Rojo and DeAndre Swift.
Ladies, we love you too.
They're good running backs to have, but they came off great weeks. And if you're in desperate need, only if you're in desperate need, you should sell high on them right now. Otherwise, I like DeAndre Swift the rest of the season. But Rojo is like a 10-pointer a game. You cannot expect a 98-yard touchdown.
You said sell high on DeAndre Swift?
Just if you need anything.
No, I hate that. I'm not disagree with you. And reason why I disagree with you is because DeAndre Swift's schedule is unbelievable.
He has a juicy schedule, and he was named the starting
named starter.
offensive
Yes,
back.
I agree.
That's all they can do.
Just because if you need something, he had a great week. I don't think he's going to get 25
if
every
you're
week.
selling high on Swift, make sure you get a nice return on him.
You gotta
Exactly.
be very
You have to
get a
be,
good
you have to
return
be
on
desperate
He
to sell high
scored
on him.
26 against one of the top run defenses in the NFL, and now he goes up against Carolina, Houston, Chicago is gonna be tough. And then he plays Green Bay, Tennessee, and Tampa Bay in the
Chicago
playoffs.
is tough. They did shut down Dalvin. Props to them. I mean, I was playing against Dalvin, so thank God Chicago. I mean, look, I love Akeem Ayers and Roquan Smith just tackling Dalvin Cook and the whole beef between them.
Akeem Hicks, you mean?
Akeem Hicks also, yeah. Akeem Hicks, not Akeem Ayers. But yeah, I don't think DeAndre Swift is a sell high candidate. I like him a lot going forward. I do also have Ronald Jones as a sell high candidate. Because when Fournette came back, it has been a very, very inconsistent backfield with both of them mixing in. Rojo put up 25 points this week on a 98-yard touchdown to go along with it. He just exploded. Now, he does play Minnesota, Atlanta, and Detroit, three very great matchups in the fantasy playoffs. But again, it's very hard to rely on Ronald Jones because of Leonard Fournette's presence in the backfield and Bruce Arians not willing to stick.
We don't know what he's going to do.
We don't know what's going to happen going forward. Because when Ronald Jones was the featured back, they were winning games. And then they lost when Fournette was in there. And now they won again with Rojo back. So going forward, we'll see if Bruce Arians finally sticks with a featured running back.
I doubt that.
Might be worth to hold on to him for another week to see what happens. I don't know what your trade deadline is, but I mean, it might be worth holding on to him.
Yeah, Max, you.
Next, Adam Thielen. He's coming out with a 20-point game, 2 touchdowns. But other than touchdowns, he wasn't really, a huge factor. Justin Jefferson was drawing all the targets and all the yards.
And he does draw number 1 coverage pretty much every game. So
Yeah, for sure. He plays Tampa Bay, Chicago, New Orleans in his playoffs. Those are not great matchups. The one thing you can do if you want to hold on to him is wait until after the Cowboys game. He may go off again also, unless it's a Dalvin Cook show again. If you don't want to wait for that, go sell high on him now.
He does play the Bears again and the Lions and Jaguars and Panthers and Cowboys, which are good matchups.
Right, but we're focusing more on like the long run, the fantasy playoff.
We talked about how when Dalvin cooks, the receivers don't benefit.
Exactly.
So-
When Dalvin cooks, I like that. The receivers take a massive hit. Joe, who is your next sell high?
My last candidate, you covered Thielen, who's on my list. I have Brandon Aiyuk. He's been playing very well in Debo's absence. They have a bye right now, and then Debo will likely come back. If he doesn't, Aiyuk could be a start for another week, but once Debo comes back, they're very similar receivers, and Debo will take over his role, and Aiyuk will receive the offense a little bit.
And Zach?
Oh, my last one, similar to the reason about Rojo and DJ Swift, is Jakobi Meyers. Just because he came off 2 good weeks, but I don't think he's going to have these same type of numbers the rest of the season. And the Patriots are just not a good team to have players on, other than Cam Newton maybe.
Now,
That's
I
about it.
must say, I am a big fan of Jakobi Meyers going forward because of Edelman's injury, because of N'Keal Harry being non-effective, because of no one else doing anything in that wide receiver position other than Jakobi Meyers. And he's throwing the ball also. He's a high school quarterback. The guy's a monster. He's the only good player on that offense besides maybe the RBs, Damian Harris, but we're not talking about them. Yeah. Jakobi Meyers going forward, I like him a lot. Cam Newton, he can throw the ball, we know. Jakobi Meyers, I like him. If you can't sell high on him, keep him.
I definitely like holding him unless you're really deep at wide receiver position and need help elsewhere.
Okay, fine. So let's get right into another sell high candidate in the Bucks receivers. All of them, all 3 of them. We got Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin. They all had a decent performance, but going forward, I think that because they're all so talented, because there are so many mouths to feed in that offense, it's just so hard to pinpoint to predict which one going forward will be the prime benefactor. I think it's gonna vary in every different week. You don't know who's gonna be the prime benefactor, and so for that reason, sell high on all of them. They all played well, so you could get a decent penny for them. And also, they're all brand names, so people will see that as well.
My only comment is Mike Evans did have 11 targets, and he definitely looked like he was leading the pack, especially in the red zone. He's the most targeted red zone receiver, and he surprised me. I thought he would be the third option on this team once Antonio Brown finds his zone, but he looked like he's the primary receiver. And if you're gonna keep any of them, I like him a lot.
I feel like it's similar to the Colts running backs. It's just going to be a game depending on who plays good. It's going to be split around, so I don't like to start any of them. I would start Chris Godwin, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, the only NFL team that are similar to the Bucks in terms of receivers are Pittsburgh, but I do like all their receivers going forward. They have a phenomenal schedule as well. And my last sell high candidate is Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to really want to buy him, but he had 40 points combined in the last 2 games. Plays Detroit, Carolina, Tennessee, and he's a sell high candidate because Alan Lazard's coming back, and he's also very, very inconsistent.
Very boomer bust, and usually bust.
Very boomer bust. He gets 2 touchdowns a game or 0 points a game. You don't want any part of that. Is that it for us?
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, that's it for our sell high candidates. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, or don't if you want to win your league and no one else know about it. This is the way to do it. Fantasy Bros signing off. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.